What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And once again, we're back at it to answer your questions in another episode of For the Greater. Yawn edition.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
And that is exactly what Jake S. has done. His question is, who has the most durable infantry? He says between Iron Hand Terminators or the Death Guard, but let's widen it up in general.
To all of them, lore-wise or tabletop?
Let's do both. Why not?
Okay.
I think when it comes to the tabletop, it's got to be Terminators. Because they're going to be getting 3 wounds. They got an invuln save. They can potentially have storm shields. And they are counted as infantry for like Grey Knights. I think if you're Deathwing, you might have access to Terminators as infantry. I'm not sure if the rules have changed to that. But yeah, I think definitely Terminators could be a strong competitor for the toughest infantry in the tabletop. When it comes to the lore, I'm going to say Space Marines. Because, I mean, first of all, they're, GW's baby. They're going to win pretty much against any other. But when you look at, like, Necron Warriors, Fire Warriors, Orcs, Hormagaunts, Termagants, like, a Space Marine in the lore can take them on pretty easily.
And then out of the chapters, which one do you think lore-wise?
I think it depends on who they're fighting. Because if it's going to be up in melee, the Space Wolves are pretty brutal. But at the same time, Blood Angels are known to be pretty good too. The Luna Wolves back in their day, they were good at everything.
I would have to give it to the Chaos Space Marines just because they're 10,000 years old.
Yeah, and you can get a crick in the neck.
Yeah. And like you said, Plague Marines, I think Plague Marines are way stronger. Now, if you bring it back to the 30K era, between the Plague Marines, which were the Death Guard, and the Iron Hands, like you asked, I think that the Death Guard was still stronger or more resilient, even when they were Dusk Raiders. Like that was their whole point, than the Iron Hands. Now, if you bump back to the 42nd millennium and you look at the Loyalists, I do think the Iron Hands also are pretty durable.
Yeah, I mean, replacing parts with like machines and stuff.
Yeah, their whole thing is just like prolonging life based on not flesh but metal.
Yeah, but then on the tabletop, it's like Plague Marines get to feel no pain, like disgustingly resilient stuff.
I heard it's a really good army.
It is. We have actually a player in our group who plays Death Guard, but he hasn't played them in like a year. That's what normal Space Marines do to you.
Yeah. Also, on the tabletop, Raven Guard were pretty durable for a while.
Yeah, because you had the whole like -1 to hit at range, and they're sneaky beakies.
Yeah. So, yeah. We'll see what happens with the following editions with the new codex.
Yeah.
Which we're going to go hunting for today since we didn't pre-order the Space Marine Codex. So now I have to go out and search for it in multiple stores. Been doing it for like 2 days now. Can't find any.
This next question is by Dragon Punch 903. So between the classic Marines and the Primaris Marines, who tells who what to do? Is it based on seniority? Or would it be the Primaris since they're new and improved so they get to boss the old model Marines around?
Probably depends on the chapter.
Yeah, I think it depends on the chapter. And overall, I think anybody is still going to follow the ranks. So if you're like a high librarian, is that what it's called?
Yeah, if you're like if you are part of the command structure within like the Codex Astarte or Codex Astarte compliant chapters,
right.
Yeah.
Chapter masters obviously are going to be like looked upon by everybody.
Yeah.
But if you have like a unit of just regular tactical squad against tactical squad, I don't know.
But I mean, it depends on who the captain is, I guess.
But let's say there's both captains, and like you have a Primaris captain and you have a regular Marine captain, like who gets to lead those units?
I think they're independent, just like if you look at a company and they're divided into units, each unit is its own thing. So like if a captain dies within that unit, then the next person within that unit takes control. One doesn't override, like one captain doesn't override the other captain.
Which I guess it's kind of seen by the nerfs for the auras. So it's like character auras can't buff other characters,
Right.
Only core units now. So I think that kind of helps to answer that question.
Yep.
Yeah.
This next question comes from Colin in Texas. Everything is bigger in Texas. You know, there's a series on Netflix. I think it's like Taconomics or Taco something. But basically, they go through a list of different tacos, and I never knew about the puffy taco.
Puffy taco?
Yeah,
that sounds like something Slaneshi.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyways, so you say, do you think GW will ever make Titanic Necrons? The Tau were gypped with their IMO. What's that stand for?
In my opinion.
I thought it was that Manta thing.
Oh. The Tau do have a Titanic unit. The Tau-Nar Supremacy battlesuit. Basically a big, huge Gundam or battlesuit.
But you could buy him at GW, so he doesn't count.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Well, no, you could buy... That's Forge World specific.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the Necrons do have they have the Necron construct.
Yeah, they have the Necron construct. They have pylons. They've got that one like sea weapon thing.
Oh yeah. But yeah, the construct itself looks really badass. It's just like a giant walker. It takes up a lot of room. You can go underneath it, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
You can. It comes down like probably turn 3, but you waste a lot of.
I mean, it's what,
firepower.
26 wounds, something like that.
Yeah. It's expensive too.
And I think I understand like the whole like idea behind your question, because it's like you have Titans for like Warhound Titans, Emperor class Titans for the Space Marines and the Imperium. The Eldar have a Titan. The Tau got the battle suit, and it's like everybody else just has like nothing like bipedal. I think that's where you're kind of getting at.
Yeah, I mean nobody has it worse than the Dark Eldar. They have a boat.
Yeah. But it's a strong boat that can compete with Titans, I guess. I guess that counts.
It's not even as big as a Titan, though.
No, but its weapons are capable of taking down Titans.
And really, I think it's just 3 boats put together, now that I think about it. Or 2 boats, something like that.
I mean, what's better than 2 boats, right? 3 boats.
Yeah. Next question.
This one is by CP. How do Space Marine chapters maintain their serfs and slaves while traveling into the warp for a very long time? Do they allow new babies to be born to replenish their losses when arriving back to their imperial planets?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they've got their own system and hierarchy of like serfs and like engineers and whatnot. So it's never like they are, but I was gonna say they're never wanting or needing more. They do, because obviously they could die or they get captured or something like that. But yeah.
And the Codex Astarte does not specify that much about serfs, so each chapter is a little different. For example, what are the blue guys with the sword? I wish I could remember. Well, there's one specific... Well, check out our 40 facts on chapter serfs, but there's one specific chapter that's really, really nice to them, and actually like gives them food and like takes care of them in like a community sense, where like they do create their own community within the fortress monastery and the fleets. But then you have other ones, like the, it's a Blood Angel successor chapter. It might be the Blood Terrors.
Flesh Terrors?
Flesh Terrors. They treat them horribly. Like they're slaves, and half of them are servitors. So servitors don't really die.
Right, they're kind of like lobotomized humans. That's almost more machine than human, but they're still fleshy parts to them.
Eventually, they just, like, whenever something malfunctions within that servitor, they just put something metallic, like an iron lung or, stuff like that. It's kind of shitty.
Yeah. When you think about it, like, a servitor is a pretty bad way to, like, live your life. Because it's not like you're dead. You're still, like, conscious and able to think, but you're, like, the mechanical part of you only forces you to do that task.
Right. Next question.
Oh, this one's not a question, but I just wanted to say that there are a lot of movies that you guys have given us options that could fit in the 40K universe. Like Mad Max Fury Road. Like you were saying that, people were saying that that's just like a Speed Freaks. Yeah, knobs and like orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Thing was another good one. Very grim, dark, and like parasitic. Evil Dead even. Like that. I can see that.
Evil Dead. I don't think I've seen that movie.
No.
Or is
it's a cult classic.
Oh, but it's horror, isn't it? Yeah, I don't mess with horror. This next question comes from Arcana. Ooh, my stomach. Could it be that you guys are getting more and more bored of saying "for the greater wall"? Probably. I mean, but that's a good it clicks in your mind. Like, all right, we're about to ask question or answer questions to a camera, because obviously you guys you exist, but you're not in front of us.
Mm-hmm. It's a conditioning thing, like Pavlov's dogs. You ring the bell, the dog starts salivating.
I started salivating right now, just you mentioning that.
But yeah, it helps. It helps. Kind of like if you're trying to get into like a routine, doing the same thing over and over is going to put you in that mindset, that state of like, okay, this is going to happen. I got to do this.
Yep. Next question.
Godfrey of Bullion. Why does the Imperium not use small nuclear weapons very often? You would think that such useful and easily produced weapons of mass destruction would come in handy in the large-scale battles of 40K.
They do. A lot of the torpedoes have that.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't call them nuclear weapons because Games Workshop didn't want to call them nuclear weapons.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's like if you are using weapons of that magnitude, maybe you're gonna like cause radiation in the area. Even though Space Marines can ignore that, but maybe you're not trying to outright just destroy like the indigenous or the flora and the fauna. Maybe you're just trying to like, I don't know, push away any threats or something like that.
Yeah, but if you do read a lot of the fluff to the weapons, especially the missiles, they're nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm. There's like virus weapons that can like dissolve the atmosphere and allow radiation and like solar pulses to bombard the planet.
And then it lights it completely on fire.
Right. Why?
Are we crooked?
A little bit. I think we're sitting crooked on Chrome. But yeah, there's like, why waste, a weapon that could blow up a whole planet when you can let the universe do that?
Right. Kind of like what happened at Calf.
Mm-hmm. But then it's like, or at Isvan, it's like people can just go underground and like wait it out.
Like old boy Darnith Lyson? No. Who was it? The Emperor's Children Dreadnought? I forget his name.
Oh, Miguelito?
Miguelito, yes.
Mm-hmm.
This question comes from Teddy Sprinkles. When was the Emperor born? Would he be quarantined with us in 2020? Technically, he was born like a long time ago, back when like humanity still didn't write stuff down. So prehistoric times.
Yeah.
And is he quarantined in 2020? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, because he's always with humanity. He's like not pushing them in that direction, but just kind of like sitting back and seeing and like tinkering with little events and whatnot.
Little do we know, it's Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is the Emperor.
You just can't tell because he's shaved his head, so you can't see him with like the long black hair.
And he's always acting like he doesn't know. Like, I don't know, I'm just a dumb guy with a TV show. That's not a TV show, it's a podcast. Next question.
Ty Shingleton has asked, which Primarch do you think would react most negatively about the current state of the Imperium? And how many heads would be removed by said Primarch? Just outright, I think Lehman Russ would probably be the most like upset, because it's like, well, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? And he's just kind of more aggressive in a way. I mean, he was called the Emperor's lapdog for a reason, and I think seeing the Emperor in that state would kind of piss him off.
Yeah, I would have to give it to either Sanguinius or the Lion. Because
yeah, I was thinking about those two.
They were the most who were like opposed kind of to the Codex Astartes, but then they understood. But it seems like they are more hands-on.
Yeah, and I think wasn't Sanguinius elected as like leader of the Imperium Secundus during that time, that like weird time?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Sanguinius or Gilliman, but yeah. Yep. Next question.
This one is by Hernan Ferreas. So I was watching Fury from 2014, and I thought, how can demons like bloodthirstiers, which still manifest physically in real space, realistically survive a shell from even a World War II tank? I mean, you'd think that the 41st millennium with weapons so advanced, they'd be like, Captain, a bloodthirster appeared on the battlefield. Okay, just point a big Land Raider cannon at it.
That's the movie with Shia LaBeouf, right?
I believe so, yeah.
That was actually surprisingly, it was a really good movie.
I haven't seen it yet. I always wanted to, but I haven't seen it.
They die at the end. I'm just kidding. I don't remember. But the answer is that bloodthirsters are made out of etheric force. unless they were naturally born. But then, even then, it's still just like etheric powers that are surging through their bodies. They're not. They're in this world, but they are made up of molecules from a completely different dimension. So when the thing detonates, explodes, those things just come back. As a matter of fact, with the whole story with the guy I was just talking about, the Emperor's Children... Rylanor, there you go. So in the story of Rylanor, I'm going to spoil it for you at the very end. So if you want to go check it out, go check out our 40 Facts on Rylanor. So he detonates a bomb, blows up Fulgrim, and then he dies, the Thousand Sons die, but Fulgrim, demon Primarch Fulgrim, starts to materialize again, because it is the gods giving him that ability to just basically regenerate from his etheric force. So it's that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, just not to that extent, obviously, because he's a demon Primarch. He's favored a little bit more than just a regular old demon prince or bloodthirsty or a greater demon.
And also, tanks can kill bloodthirsters.
I mean, look at Lehman Russes. They're essentially just a World War II tank.
Yeah, and they fire on greater demons or demons, and they kill them. Gretchen can probably even take down a demon.
I mean, the chances are low, but hey, there's a will, there's a way.
As long as you roll 6, 6, 6. Oh, shit. Well, but, no, it would have to be 6, 6, and then your opponent has to roll a 1.
And then you roll a 6 for damage. Chicken waffles. What's worse, getting captured by the Dark Eldar or a Slaaneshi warband? I'd rather go with a Slaanesh Marine, because every time, it's Bridget B time.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody would.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you look at a demonette of Slaanesh, your most carnal desires gets manifested on there. And it's like, yeah, you could be suffering, but hey, I mean, it's at the hands of, like, what you desire the most. Whereas a Dark Eldar, you're just going to get tortured for the longest time until you croak.
Croak. And then you become a piece of furniture.
Generally, yeah.
This question comes from CP. How do the Space Marines chapters... No, we already answered that. We already
did that one.
Next one.
Bunny Hop. What's your favorite model GW has done so far? I get it, because in the previous one you asked the worst. Now it's our favorite. I really like the model for the Lord Discordant. I ranked it as the best model that GW has put out during that year. It's cool. The lore about him is pretty cool. He's basically just a freaking warpsmith on the freaking chittering like demon engine, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's simple, not too over the top, but still very intimidating looking.
For me, it has to be God School, because I don't have them, and like I kind of just like wish I did. And I look at the sculpt, and like it tells a story. Like you see his neck is like stitched up from it's like he got decapitated. So.
And not just that, but looking at the old God School to the new one.
Oh yeah, the old God School was like this.
And it was kind of small.
Yeah.
This one's massive, dude.
Yeah, it's not as big as an Onager Doomcrawler base, but like one down. So, yeah. Next question. As my stomach growls in anger. What would hunger be? What chaos god would that be? Like famine?
No, because famine's the opposite. Well, no, yeah. So, Nurgle?
But maybe. I just feel like it's not a disease. It's just like your body. Well, because it is entropy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it probably would be Nurgle.
Teddy Sprinkles. What was the plan for Magnus the Red? I mean, was he just supposed to sit on the golden throne and slowly wither and die?
No, he was supposed to be strong enough to maintain it.
Yeah.
So was the Emperor, but like the Emperor got his ass beat by Horus.
But I mean, he's still powering the Astronomicon, and he's still doing things.
He just can't do as much because of what Horus did to him.
But no, I do think that like having Magnus sit on the golden throne would be kind of a waste, because like he's like almost the second strongest psyker in the entire galaxy. Why just have him used as a perpetual battery?
Well, but we have to remember that the golden throne was modified after he fought Horus so that it could become a life support system.
True.
It is the Emperor's fault, or it's not the Emperor. It is because of the Emperor and his debilitated state that the gold...
It's Horus's fault is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, sure. It's Horus's fault that it is that way. If he would have never fought, if the Emperor would have never fought Horus, or if Magnus would have sat on it, it wouldn't have been like a dreadnought style thing. It would just be like some days I'm on it, some days I'm off. I get a vacation every like couple weeks, things like that.
Yeah, it'd be cool if like he could use his psychic power to manifest himself in multiple locations at once.
Guarantee you that he could have, like the Emperor did that, because the Emperor was going around with the Great Crusade, still powering the Astronomicon, and the Golden Throne was supposed to be like that. What did you say? That cell?
A battery?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
that's what a battery is, a cell. Kind of like mitochondria.
The powerhouse
of the cell.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for asking these questions. Talk to you tomorrow.
This has been The Sound Alchemist.
Search one.
And we are out.
Oh, if you could put my sweet